Somewhat of a silly question, but have you ever felt angry, and did it impact your performance? I'm going to go ahead and say that it did impact your performance, and then I'm going to guess that you were experiencing an amygdala hijacking and that you failed to access the creative or problem-solving parts of your brain when you were angry. Now, obviously, we all know from experience that when you're upset or angry, and for example, if you're in a heated argument with someone, you are significantly less logical, or you're stricken with fear or paralysis, or you're trying to get the heck out of there. And I'll spare you the there's no such thing as being angry psychoanalysis and get straight to the point here. If you've got people working for you or with you, you should be aware of their feelings and of their sentiments as well as your own. Are you being grounded? Are you paying attention to what's going on around you? And do you have a pulse on your organization? You should be involuntarily practicing sentiment analysis of your team if you're a boss. And in this case of opinion mining, we're talking about your team's morale as it relates to organizational culture. If we track this data over time and analyze it appropriately, we can make adjustments to our culture as needed. So here's a strategy to deal with that. But first, let me share with you a quick story. Once upon a time, when I was running a different business, I had a key player in which I knew that I needed to terminate. This person was underperforming and they were having a bad attitude as well. And so what was happening is that unbeknownst to me, I was struggling with dealing with the lack of performance from the key player. But the rest of the team, they were not only picking up the pieces and dealing with the problems, they were just being berated by one of their peers. When I failed to understand this, the negative impact that it was having on our culture, the toxicity that was involved, the negativity, then it really taught me a lesson that being aware of what's going on around you is critically important, and we need to learn to do this over time, and we need to have a systematic approach to this when we're super busy, or when we're the visionary types, or if we just find ourselves in a part of life where we can't pay as close attention to these things as we should. So let's talk a little bit about how to analyze organizational sentiment. The first step is you need to listen. You need to understand the issues and develop the right questions to ask. You need to assess your team. You need to survey them. You need to do one-on-ones. You need to get feedback. And next, you need to identify these trends, plot them out, chart them out, and calibrate so that you can create process and then you can execute on that process. Going through this process works, and I've made some notes in this blog that you can check out the exact steps that you need to take, because managing the health of your culture will, and I can't emphasize this enough, dictate your outcomes. And you don't want to allow those outcomes to make you frustrated. Actually, that's a trick. As a human, you can't be frustrated. You're just a human being feeling frustration. That's it for now. See you next Monday. Thanks for tuning in.